Well, it happened. It snowed, and evidently winter is here. But we had a good run, didn't we? Had a nice long summer. Had a little bit of a fall in Gillette, so it was great. I'm sorry that it's over. I know we'll have a few more nice days before real winter hits, but I'm a little sad today. Was not ready for snow. I know where they've been living on borrowed time. I don't need any comments. I don't. All you people that are just ecstatic that it snowed, good for you. Keep it to yourself. Now, here is the 90-day challenge update for this week. Most of what I want to say is from Monday's reading. I don't know if you've read it. Do not skip Monday's reading. John 6 is packed full of so many incredible things that Jesus says. There's a story of him walking on the water in the middle of a storm. And if you ever go through storms in life where you just feel like you're about to sink, read this passage in John 6 and in verse 20. He says to his disciples, "Don't be afraid, I am here." Because where Jesus is, just get this, where Jesus is, there's no room for fear. And John picks up on this. So John would have been there, and he writes another letter later on to some Christians where he talks about the relationship between love and fear, and essentially says love displaces fear. There's no room for love and fear to coexist. So the more love is present, the less fear has a chance to live. Sort of just suffocates fear. So take Jesus' word for it. If he says, "I'm with you," then he's with you. If he says, "Don't be afraid," then there's no reason for fear. And that comes back to what we've been talking about with this sermon series, the verdict. If he is the Son of God and he says, "I'm here, all is well," then guess what? All is well. Take his word for it. He's the Son of God. In verse 43, a little bit later on, there's an odd exchange where he says, "Unless you eat of my flesh, drink of my blood, you can't have any part of me." And they would have had no clue what he's talking about, and most didn't. And so that's when a lot of his followers desert him, because they're just like, this doesn't make sense. He's making us eat his flesh, drink his blood. This is just too weird. So like, I'm out. So his disciples stick around. He says, "You guys going to leave too?" That's where Peter says, "No, where are we going to go?" But the thing I want to point out today is that in verse 43, it's when he says, or 53, "Unless you drink of my flesh, eat of my blood." What in the world is he talking about? They have no clue what he's talking about until he gets to the Lord's Supper, when he says, "Okay, here is my flesh, this is my blood, eat and drink. And when you do, remember." And so when he's saying, "Eat of my flesh, drink of my blood," he is giving a preview of the Lord's Supper. What is the Lord's Supper? It's the time when we accept the free gift, his sacrifice in our place. So when he says it in John 6, like, we don't know what that means. Lord's Supper. Okay, now we get a little bit more of a clue of what that is. Later on, when they start to understand that his sacrifice on the cross and his validating who he is by raising from the dead, every time the Lord's Supper is given, it's our time to renew that receiving of his grace. So this is connected to what we do on Sundays in just receiving it, to have a part in him, which is accepting his free gift of grace. So in verse 60, it's very hard teaching. If you ever get to a place where, when it comes to Jesus or faith or the scriptures or just your walk with God, if something's very hard, don't give up, because you may not understand it now, which is where the disciples were in John 6. Let it be patient enough for new information to come and things to develop. Don't feel like you have to understand everything right now. Just say, "Okay, I don't get it, Jesus, but you're the Son of God. I'll just go with you, and you can show me what I need to see when I need to see it." Okay, I'll go quickly through the rest. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday readings are continuation of Paul's missionary journeys. A lot of great stops in there. Psalm 62, Psalm of David. favorite verse out of there is verse 5. Let all I am wait quietly before God, for my hope is in him. And you have to appreciate what that means coming from David. David's a man of action. He's the guy that kills lions and bears and giants. He's a man of action. He does not wait patiently. He acts. He's a warrior. So when he prays, God, let all I am wait quietly before you, because my hope is in you. A man of action, a mighty warrior, comes to the end of what he can accomplish and says, God, my hope is not in my strength, what I can do with lions and bears and giants. My hope is in you. Let me be patient enough to let you work instead of forcing my way through this. I can relate to that. All right, extra long video today. Sorry about that. One more thing. Send in your letters. I just want to read quickly this letter I got from a friend taking the New Life Challenge. And she writes this: getting so much from the readings, then having God's affirmation of my thoughts through your videos. I'm already saddened the 90-day challenge will have to come to an end. Any possibility you continue with this type of teaching, encouragement, knowing that others are reading the same scriptures. Looking forward to personal quick chats. Means so much. My prayer life is improved. Temperament. Thank Jesus for this every day. Very cool. And she says she's excited about the next series. She talked about Verdict. She'll have pen and paper ready to take notes. So I love feedback like that. I love to see what God's teaching you, how it's affecting you. So we're talking about prayer life, temperament, and things like that. Keep the emails coming. If you have stories, feedback, email them to bwilson@newlifegillette.com. Thanks for being part of this. Don't give up now. You only have about 4 or 5 weeks to go. You will not regret it. God bless you.